Yes, it is us. It is us.
Yeah.
We are live. Just so, by the way, it's no pre-record or anything like
We
that.
blame that delay on the sauna.
We blame it on that. Everything is Cyril's fault.
It's our first Thursday, you guys.
Hey,
How
what's
you
up?
feeling
What's
about
up?
that?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Welcome to it, everybody. This is Ekse. We're going live from right now to the hour 5, keeping you educated, entertained, and informed. This is myself, Lama Lee Moon.
And of course, I am Zayda. And today is a very massive, big day for South Africa. As it is, we'll get to hear the State of the Nation
Of
address
course.
from our very own Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa. I cannot wait for that. So it's going to be a good show today as well.
Of course
here
it
on
is. Of
XA.
course it is. And you know how we do it on Ekse. We keep everything lit. On today's show, I go by the name of Rizal, the Sheriff Forbes. Super excited. It's a Thursday and we are back, baby. Back with a bang. We have lots of things coming for you. Trending music videos as well. We're going to play one for you that we were supposed to play for you. We'll play it for you now.
You're right.
And yeah, man, we're sitting with the Saids and we're speaking of drug-free sports and everything to do with stop doping. Please, especially you watching, stop it. Let's just stop it.
It's the 7th of February, everybody, and everybody here in the country knows that it's the State of the Nation address. So our hashtag for the day is hashtag Sauna 2019. We want to hear your voice. What are you anticipating about the sauna tonight? Hashtag Sauna 2019, our Facebook
Page.
Ekse on Cape
Of
Town
course.
TV.
our Twitter pages.
At
Ekse
Ekse_live.
Our
What's up?
number is
021 448 So
Our
do connect
email
with us.
address
Oh
is-
my gosh, Lama,
I'm
what
Lama
is
Moon
this?
at Cape Town TV.com. What's happening? I haven't
It's the sauna, guys. But
I'm excited, that's
yeah,
why.
I'm very excited as well because we do have a studio, well, not a studio, but like an audience in our studio. So we'll be engaging with them later on in the show. So the topic will be based on educational
Yes.
systems, not just only here in the Western Cape, but all around in South Africa.
Of course.
Yeah, should you be in Cape Town right now watching the sauna from afar, say hi to Snyder because he's there covering his story for us.
Yes,
Ew.
and he's looking absolutely snazzy, if I must say so myself. Anyway, about that music video, are y'all ready for it? I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
You know, I like
I'm
to get
ready.
my groove on a Thursday.
Right.
And someone told me it's actually the first Thursday, and I didn't know what it was. And then she was like, no, we party on the Thursday and things like that.
Gosh, let's just go to the music video.
Let's go to it.
Thank you.
Hey, Pasopa, double HP, man. Oh, absolutely amazing. So
Yeah,
we
man.
were like, Pasopa. This is the part of the show that we like to call What's Trending. And on this segment, we look at all the things happening in and around Zanzi. And Zayda has the first one. She mentioned that it is actually a massive day
Of course.
as well. So she's going to tell us what the massive day is about as well.
So
What's up?
No, we definitely have mentioned that it's State of the Nation address today, and guys, who cannot wait to watch the Sona 2019 today later on in the evening.
Yes.
So it's that time of the year where very interesting time here in South Africa. We are proud as Cape Townians to actually host those high-profile people attending the State of the Nation address. Now, I'm just wondering how the Sona is going to be without Udadu Jacob Zuma, though, because tonight our Mr. President Cyril Ramaphosa, aka Prez Tumamina, will deliver the 2019 State of the Nation address under the theme following up on our commitments, making your future work better. Now, people on social media commented about what actually could he touch on, you know. So one Twitter user said, I hope he will touch on the issues facing the youth, the crime and unemployment. We just hope everybody will be happy after today's Sona. And of course, we cannot wait to see Mr. Gigaba and his beautiful wife there.
Hey, of course, man. I'm going to miss Jay-Z in the State of the Nation.
Who doesn't miss Jay-Z though?
Exactly, Baba. Come back if you may sometime in a few years. Listen, man, more news for you. The ANC Youth League calls for restraint after fatal DUT shooting. Now, we all remember about the DUT shooting that happened earlier this week. A student who was actually shot dead fighting for free education. Now, the 20-year-old student died after an alleged altercation with private security just outside the Steve Biko campus of Durban University of Technology. Now, the African National Congress Youth League in KwaZulu-Natal has called for restraint following the deadly struggle songs in solidarity with the deceased student. South African Police Service spokesperson in KwaZulu-Natal said that according to her knowledge, no arrest has been made as of yet. And a lot of things is happening with our universities in Zanzi as well. And we do hope that all of this commotion, comes to an end and we all just enjoy
Yeah,
education.
man. And another commotion that's been happening in a high school near just right here in Rondebosch. There was a video doing rounds on social media showing a teacher and a learner in confrontation with each other, which resulted the teacher slapping the child, which left some viewers very shocked.
Yeah.
Now, this video went viral on social media because many people at the St. Susie High School in Newlands came out in support of the teacher. Now, most people said that the teacher was provoked by the learner, and I got to see the video. I don't know if you saw the video.
Of course,
well.
I saw the video.
Yeah, I got to see the video, and dude, it was hectic, hey?
Yeah.
But I saw that the learner actually provoked the teacher, and now it's like after being posted on social media, a lot of people are saying that the teacher is being racist,
Yeah.
that the child was actually speaking a mother tongue of which.
Of course. And also I saw there's been a lot of support for the teacher as well.
Yeah.
Saying that, the learners of today are very disruptive and they're backchatting, all those things. Another thing on the agenda, from SONA, what to expect. Now, ESCOM is expecting a promising future as President Cyril Ramaphosa delivers his State of the Nation address in Parliament this evening. Plans are to restructure and streamline state-owned entities, including a plan to split the national power utility ESCOM into 3 companies. One will focus on production, another will focus on transmission, and the third one will focus on distribution. Ramaphosa is also expected to give more details on his investment drive. He has already posted that this has brought about 20 billion in new foreign investment
my
into the
word.
country, which is a fifth of his 5-year plan
Yeah.
as well. So things are happening.
That
I'm
is
excited
hectic,
for
man.
SONA. There's no comedy tonight, unfortunately, but we'll see. We're going
Right.
to take a quick break, yeah?
We'll be back.
Hey. We are...
Right?
It's like a, yes. No, no, no. It's like a mouthful, eh? Like when people say, where do you work? Then I go, the South African Institute for It's like a whole like a recitation, eh?
Welcome back to our first Thursday. We are so excited, everybody. I'm sure that you are as well. Happy It Up will be on your screens on Saturday at 9 p.m. So make sure that you tune in. Tomorrow between 4 and 5 is the first Friday of Ekse. DJs, artists, and the whole Chamors is going to be here. Today, our hashtag is hashtag Sona2019. Put a hashtag on it. Follow us on Twitter. It's Ekse_live. Or can you go Facebook? It's Ekse on Cape Town TV. We love hearing from you. So here are the people who said something about Sona2019. This one comes from Text on Fire, who says you don't need to watch the hashtags Summer 2019, because you already know. I don't already know, so. And then this one comes from Singobile, who says, I find it ironic that the theme for hashtag 20, Summer 2019 is follow up on your commitments, making your future work better. I'm shaking my head. Well, that one I understand. And then Sizwe goes on to say, today our silver tongue president will deflect, delay, and deceive, but his slippery slogans can no longer distract from the failures of the disastrous decade. The fire on the new dawn is fading to ashes. Hashtag Sona 2019. We love hearing from you, so make sure that you put on a hashtag on it and send them through us. We'll read them all. So have you ever wondered when, how, and why athletes get tested for drugs? Well, today in studio, we're lucky enough to have the person to provide us with that information. So, Deslin, welcome to the studio and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Tell me, do you love testing? Are you the one who's responsible for testing the athletes?
No, I'm actually the one coordinating the doping control officers to go out and
Okay.
do the testing.
You go
So-
test that
Yeah.
guy. I suspect that guy.
Yeah,
You're the person.
him. He's too good. He's too good. When people hear the name, the South African Institute for Drug-Free Sport, they go, "What is that?" And that's exactly what I actually do when I first saw it. So, what is it that you guys actually do?
Well, to be very honest, we actually an independent statutory
Okay.
that forms part of the South African Recreation and out of the Minister of Sport and Recreation,
okay.
South Africa. And what we actually do is promote the participation in sport,
Yeah.
free from the use of prohibited substances and any other method that could possibly enhance your performance.
Yes.
Okay, so now you guys are dealing with athletes, and of course, sports is a very big, thing in South Africa as well. It's taken seriously. But I just want to ask now, with regards to this institution, how did you get involved?
Well, I'm a sport management graduate
Yeah.
Okay.
from the University of Technology, and sport was always part of something that I love to do. And obviously, to promote clean sport is
Yeah.
something that
Of
I'm quite
course.
interested in as well.
Yeah.
So, always involved, and back at the office, we've got people that have sport management degrees and also sports science.
Oh, nice.
Now, Deslin, what's the Institute's vision for sports in South Africa?
Well, the vision for the Institute in South Africa is to form collaboration with our African sport colleagues across Africa. We also do, we're the custodian of sport ethics and, of course, anti-doping to promote clean sport.
I love that.
If I may ask, what's wrong with doping? Like, if it makes one better at doing their job, what's wrong with it?
It's cheating.
It's cheating. It goes against ethical and moral values.
It's like you telling me not to take energy because I'm going to
But
get
that's
energetic.
different.
But
That's
energy
different.
it's different because that's not going to be able to make you suddenly do 20 jackknives.
Of
Oh,
course,
okay.
of
And
course.
people even get addicted, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I love how you mentioned that you guys are actually the custodians, for ethics in sport. And I want to know from you, how important is someone having ethics? How's that important, especially where sport is concerned?
Well, ethics go as far as our doping control officers that actually go out and test athletes, number
Yeah.
one. And I mean, we all are raised with certain models and values of what is right and what is wrong.
Of course.
And of course, that goes to sport as well. So it's wrong to dope.
Of course.
Now, you were talking about anti-doping. I just want to know what type of anti-doping research is the institution busy with right now?
Okay, we've just at the moment completed a survey with elite athletes.
Okay.
And this was really just to get their knowledge and their beliefs and attitudes about anti-doping. And this is definitely going to help us going forward in education
Of course.
Yeah.
for the year.
Of course.
Okay, on social media, Deslin, they want to know practically how are the athletes ranging from youth to professional sport monitored for doping?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. We've got a clean school sport program running at the moment. And what that really is that we go out to schools and we randomly test school sports, especially in rugby. And then we've got 120 athletes on our registered testing pool, and they need to provide us with a quarterly whereabouts.
Yeah.
And that ranges from all different sport codes in South Africa.
Of course, of course. Now we see the elite athletes not only in South Africa but on the world stage as well, being, going through these sticks and they're raging and they're going on. And we know that there are things such as bribery, like, hey, I'm gonna give you this. And then how common are those things, in sports, bribery and things like that?
Well, amongst our doping control officers, we just recently had 2 reports of athletes bribing doping control officers.
Oh my word.
And obviously bribing them to use their urine sample instead of
Yes.
using the athlete's urine. So we're currently investigating that at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this is the last question now. What type of opportunities do you guys have for volunteers, people that actually even want to consider studying towards, sports sciences?
Okay, so at the Institute, we've got 120 doping control officers
Nice.
across South Africa.
Oh, nice.
And they go and do the actual testing of athletes. So that's always an opportunity if people want to volunteer.
Yeah.
And then in our office, we've got an education department, we've got a finance department, we've got a legal team. So it's just an endless opportunity.
So they can go on your website,
They
right?
can go on our website, that's right, www.drugfreesport.org.za.
I'm sure that there are millions of questions that the viewers would love to ask and we didn't touch on. So for them to follow you on social media, do you have Twitter? Do you
We've
have
got a
Facebook?
Twitter, yes we do. Twitter and Facebook is at drugfreesportza.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for joining us. I definitely want to know more, especially, how to avoid coming in confrontation with Desmond. Desmond, thanks so much for chatting to us. I'm sure the viewers learned a lot. We're going to check out a cool insert. It's called the Fix the Norms Equal Education, and it's at Bishop's High Court. And I really want to know what that is about as well. So check this out.
So sifuna urhulumente mhlawumbi athathe ixanduva malunga nokwakhiwa kwezikolo kuba uyafumaniseka ukuba kwi-document i-norms standards ngoku urhulumente akunako ukungathathi uxanduva kokwakhiwa kwezikolo. Angakwazi ukuthi xa izikolo zingenambane athe elo xanduva lam ukwakha umbane.
If the minister is correct, what it means is that she also cannot be compelled to provide textbooks because other people write the textbooks, other people print them, other people distribute them, and she can't bind anybody who's not before the court.
Is you can consult these other organs of state until we all turn blue in the face, but they can't commit themselves to what there is not, my lady, and that unfortunately is a practical fact of life.
The third matter not addressed, not answered or answered effectively, is our submission that Rule 45A does not provide a time frame, doesn't stipulate a time frame during which the infrastructure must be provided. And that's because it says it will be provided at some unspecified time when some unspecified people have done some unspecified work.
Esikoleni sami isikole sami silungiswe sifane nezinye izikole ngoba kwamaxesha ukuba kubanda ifestire nasinazo iiroofu ziqhobokile akho mbane eklasini yethu xa kumnyama usibekele ukuba mnyama eklasini. Isikolo sethu kwiiklasi ezingasebenziyo, ezinye iiklasi ziqhobokile apha ngaphantsi sikungayazi noba kodwa kunomnyoka okanye uba kwenzeka ntoni.
Iimbuso zethu sihleli inde kusihleliwe apha eklasini asinayo nemali futhi ngaphezulu esikhangele inyama bamnyama banceda kuyanyanzeleka abanye ngabasiyeka ufuna because amanzi ayangena ke eklasini amanzi seyencwadi.
Nna ke nna James Koma ke tswelela ke le kwa Limpopo. Nna ke nna papa wa Michael ola a wetseng ka mo toilet. Ke tlile mo ke tlile support-a equal education. Re kgopela gore NG a sepele mo dikolong tša rena a eta lebelela gore na ke ka kae ka mo a ka kgona go thuša ke ka kae ka mo a ka se kgone go thuša ka ona gore bana ba rena ba tle ba be safe bana ba rena ba botlhokwa be ke kgopela gore NG a kgona a tla lebelele ka mola molentši gore na o diregang le ka mola mašašane ga o ne library le e ka ba e tee le gore e ka kgona go thuša setšhaba tsela sa ka thoko tšela ga e gona bana ba rena gore wa re ba tlo feleletša ba tshwana le rena ba se ba rutega.
The minister definitely needs to be held accountable. One of the arguments that Equal Education Act put forward, and which Advocate Jeff Badner made quite powerfully in oral argument, was that the minister can't say that the obligation she has is limited to her particular capacity as the Minister of Basic Education. That really, when she promulgated the norms and standards for school infrastructure, that was the obligations that government had as a whole. That she was required to engage with the relevant departments when making the commitments that she did in those regulations, and so it's not an understandable justification. It's not a constitutionally sound justification to suggest that the minister doesn't need to comply with the obligations because there are other people who also need to be involved.
Our involvement in this case is that Section 27 is representing Basic Education for All, which is a movement of parents, learners, educators, and principals in Limpopo. So what we wanted to do was make legal submissions and factual submissions in order to come out on the side of equal education and support the case for norms and standards. What we just heard right now was the counsel for the department saying that while education, the right to education is immediately realizable, the components thereof are not.
The minister must have misunderstood what the right to basic education means when she finalized these regulations, because the regulations allow for schools to actually possibly never be provided with some of the basic infrastructure that they need. And it takes an approach that the DBE is responsible for one thing and another entity is responsible for another thing, and you can't ask the DBE, who's responsible for infrastructure, school infrastructure law, to create a law that makes sure the state as a whole will provide all the elements of a basic education to children.
Now, I love how that guy says, I'd love for Andrew Mutsecha to come visit the schools and see the conditions. Abantwana bafunda kuzo, but they visit and then what happens after? You know, you can't just visit and say, too bad, so sad, and then tomorrow it's still too bad, so sad. It's how many years in democracy now?
24 years.
See,
so much years.
25
when
years.
you don't visit Zeta's school, when you do not visit Rizal's school, they don't know about this democracy or how long it has
25 years.
been.
Come on.
I'm a born free. I don't know these things.
And how free are you? So I bet they're gonna say so much about education tonight at the State of the Nation address. And the promises that they make, I hope that they keep in touch. I'll have you know that the class of 2018 in the Western Cape scored an 81.5% pass, which is lower in comparison to 2017's 84.4%. Luckily for us in studio, we've got young people who know about their experiences in high school as well as in tertiary, so we're going to be talking about that. And I touched on the SONA 2019 earlier on. I've got a tweet here from Pablo, who says the SONA 2019 is tonight and we're still dealing with the same problems from last year.
Yes.
High unemployment rates, blatant corruption, ESCOM is still on life support, and I'm tired of Isubia's Makeza, who's that?
You.
I don't know.
Subius Makeza. Well, Papalo is tired of you Subius Makeza, you. Madiba Kamta says, personally, I don't think it's a good idea to have the sauna in February during the election year because there will be another one after elections. It's just a waste of money. Nje. Hashtag Sauna 2019.
And even during the month of love.
And not only
I'm
that.
dealing with that now. How are we gonna love each other when
Waffle
there's the
J.
sauna? And,
Listen, I think what they do is cool because the sauna is just basically the celebs of Parliament showcasing their dresses. So that's why they have two, one in Feb, and then Gigaba is probably, backstage doing
speaking
his
of that
things.
one, I don't think it'll be. I mean, arms with what's her name? No, Magikawa, or maybe
Okay.
they are. I don't know. Talking about the waste of money that the sauna is doing. We went to collect our media accreditation today. I've never seen the amount of police that I saw today.
Who
You
are they
remember
protecting?
Clifton December when they wanted to slaughter a
Yes,
ship?
yes.
Yeah.
You'd swear that the amount of people that went to the beach are those police.
Oh my word.
Millions of the police.
Why?
And then you go to Nyanga where there's high crime
Yeah.
rate, and then there's one vehicle patrolling
Exactly.
in 3 hours.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you have so much police officers there, and then it's the officials actually hurting each other.
And you need to know when it comes to politicians, they feel like they are the most important people, regardless with the entire nation. Like they don't care about the rest of the people. No. They feel they are the VIPs, right? You
Are
understand
you
what I
hating
mean?
on the
So,
politicians?
I'm not hating, but
What are you hating
they're
on?
benefiting themselves and they're not really putting out the promises that they've made for the communities. You understand? To fix so many issues that are happening in our a lot of communities. But like, yeah, they just
Not
doing
only
it to
is it
benefit for
education,
themselves.
health as well is a downfall. What else? Finance, unemployment.
There's so many things. Like
Studios. No, hashtag Sauna 2019. Let us know what you think about what's going to happen tonight and what you wish for them to talk about and what you want them to implement on. Tomorrow we'll be announcing the presenter finalists for you to be able to vote for those people. Make sure that you watch tomorrow between 4 and 5. Our hashtag is hashtag Sauna 2019 if you want to chat with us right now. Ekse_live is on Twitter and Ekse on Cape Town TV is our Facebook fan page. Right now it's time for us to take a musical break, and when we return, those studio audience that we were telling you about was a tech. Welcome back from the ad break. I didn't even know that we were back.
We are
By
back.
the way, we blamed the sauna, everybody. 021448048 is that number to dial to get in contact with us, and that hashtag is Sauna 2019. Today we're talking about the state of education in our country.
Of course.
Right, unlike higher education. Now, the rights to basic education that's coming from the Section 2019 of the Constitution is immediately realizable. Now, this means that the education of, the quality of the education actually must be accessible to everyone in South Africa. Am I right,
Of
Lisa?
course, and I understand that the Schools Act was actually established way back in 2005 and actually dividing schools into 5 quantiles, and it ranges 1 to 5. So if you are in quantile 1, you're basically in the poorer communities. So I understand that 1, 2, and 3, schools that are in those quantiles, they are known as no-fee schools. So they're not allowed to charge. And then the 4 and the 5 are allowed to charge. So 1 to 3 are in your poorer communities, and then 4 and 5 would be your middle class and upper class communities.
Nice.
But my opinion is that education should be free.
For everybody.
Exactly.
How about that? And then, like I mentioned earlier on, stats shows that the class of 2018 didn't do so well as compared to the class of 2017 right here in the Western Cape. So joining us in studio are those beautiful people.
Esteemed guests.
Yeah, white, blue,
they look so
red, purple. And let's get those who are chatting to each other. Her name is Abigail, Abby, and his is Tarek. Can you guys pass the microphone to Abby quickly? Abby is from the United States of America.
Yes.
I want to know, Abby, in the United States, is it common that some states receive a quality of education that is different from the other state, or is the United States as a whole receive the same equal education?
It's not necessarily state by state as much as it is communities. So if the community has more money, they put more money into their schooling. It's not necessarily federal government. It's more of like the individual local governments that decide how much money they want to give their local schools.
So in essence, there is inequality.
Yes, based on the inequality of, like, Detroit isn't going to have as much money to spend as like Grand Rapids. So
That's still a wonder for me, because like I said again, it comes back to, and not just me, other students fighting on free education. Education should be free. Why do you guys think education should be free?
Anyone can take the answer.
Yabona okokuqala ke into endizayithetha mna into endicinga why ngaba free education in Ariza. The thing is, some of us are coming from poor background.
Of course.
Yeah, poor families. Apho uzafumanisa uba abazali abasebenzi, and there's a lot of kids in the house that abazafuneke bebasupportile and stuff like that, and they can't do loo nto leyo because baninzi abantwana abafuna bebenzile apha, and fees ziduru guys, they are expensive, you know. Yeah, so I think ngabring it that way.
Now, speaking about the quality of education, we know, like, starting from way back in 1994, education has been divided depending on the with the community that you're coming from. And I just want to know, and I want to ask if maybe, like, when it comes to the quality of education, do you think that it's actually, it should be fair for everyone, that everyone receives quality education and equal education as well?
Well, I think for me personally, I think they kind of mixed it up by doing this, by grouping these quintiles into 5.
Yeah.
For example, by saying quintile 1 until 3, those are like your poorest schools, and then quintile 4 and 5, obviously those are the people who can afford.
Yeah.
So the moment you do that, you are pretty much playing on dangerous ground. So because the main focus now shifts, because the quality of education is mostly based on the quintile 5 and 4, which now are getting the good education, while as the poorest of the poor are the ones struggling when it comes to quality of education.
Of course.
Yeah, I think so. They should be somehow trying to balance it out and get rid of this quintile thing, which I don't know why they started in the first place.
I agree.
Nice.
Byron, during your school career, is there anything that you notice now that, oh my gosh, that was damn wrong? And what was it?
Well, if I can touch on that, I think I matriculated in 2013, right? Like myself and probably the other audience here. I'm from a government school where we paid fees, but some of the kids weren't able, because most of us were like from the poorer areas, poorer communities, you see. And if I look back now, things are way different from the time that I was on school.
Of course.
So I think to touch on that, yeah, there were many things.
I want to speak about the viral video that actually went, and I'm sure everyone saw it. There's a kid in the class, kids being disrupted. Having a phone, first of all, we couldn't have phones.
That was a no-no back
exactly,
in
like,
my days.
what's that even?
Yeah.
Did you even have a phone?
Okay, so basically what happens is the kid has a phone, the teacher reprimands, why are you having a phone? The next thing we know, there's heated arguments going on. What do you guys think about that? Should that change? Because now they're saying that the teacher's being racist. And my personal opinion is it doesn't matter the color. If you were the teacher, you're the one in control. And having a phone in the class is wrong. That's my opinion. But what are your guys' take on the whole situation of kids lashing out, beating teachers, being disrespectful, and making the teacher's job actually harder?
Before they respond, Riza, race, I think race comes into part, because the teacher said, you're speaking to me in isiXhosa, you're swearing at me. She's the one who spoke to the kid in Afrikaans. How about that? And then the teacher is the one who pushed the desk to the kid. If you push a desk at me, or push it back
the kid
at you.
actually is the one that pushed the desk
Yeah,
first.
she pushed the desk first.
And then the teacher
Producer,
went
don't we
backwards,
have that
and then
video?
she stood. She
We
stood
don't?
up,
Okay.
and then the teacher had to clap the
But,
child. But
had
then she
to,
provoked.
had
No,
to.
but like, I mean,
Not
she
had to.
provoked. No, but she provoked the teacher.
Of
though.
course.
The
You
way-
push a desk at me,
Did you
I'll
see
push
the
it back
attitude
at
that
you.
she
No,
had?
but you
Okay.
the teacher. All right, let's
Let's
get,
get-
what does the viewers say? What does the guest say?
What do you guys say?
Tarek,
I think.
Did you see the video?
I saw the video.
Okay.
If that girl that which the teacher slept, if that was my friend, I would have slept off her. I would have slept off. Okay, because you can't let someone hit you like that, even if it's a teacher. Where I come from a ratchet place. The teachers is worse than that, but the teachers where I used to attend school were never like that. I was a badass in class. I provoked the teacher worse than that girl did. That girl didn't even say a word.
Yeah.
That never happened to me before.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I
That
feel like there should be
teacher
more
should
opinions
lose
on
a
this
job
as well.
Because that isn't a teacher.
Okay, Lusuka?
To add on that, ne, I think it goes back to our schools failing us because there are rules that are not allowing cell phones in the classroom. And then the teacher, how she approached the matter, also, I would say they're both wrong.
Of course.
The way the teacher approached the matter, it
course.
wasn't pleasing for the
Of course.
for the child. So I also would react the same
Yeah.
if someone was shouting at me like that, whereas she's older and would give me like discipline me in a manner that I could see that I'm wrong.
Of
and
course.
At the end of the day, say I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, unlike Tariq, the girl didn't even react to that. She just touched her face. Yeah, go.
So I feel like it's not a matter of approaching the situation because she knows the rules of the school.
Exactly.
She was sitting in front
Exactly.
of the teacher.
That's disrespectful.
Go down phone above. If you put the phone, at least you bag because the class in there.
You
and
hide.
then you
Yeah.
hide, you
Exactly.
try, you know.
Right.
She was sitting in front, and then the teacher was right in front of her.
Okay,
So-
just hold it right there. We're gonna continue with this entire conversation because it's heated up. But right now, I think we need to take a quick breather. We'll be right back, right?
Yes, tell
Music
me
video.
videos, guys.
Music video. Aibo.
Just to
Geachte mejuffrouw Scarlett en mijn Keggy.
Waarom ons kyk?
Haha, snaaks en voor grappen, nee, alsjeblieft schenk aandacht, ik het iets op je hart. Wat wil je zeggen? Ongeduldig, nee, maar mensen moeten beseffen dat is even gemaakt en hier niet zo.
Wat jy wil sê?
Dus dat beter is behep met die negatieve morskraag op verdeeldheid, Samasa.
Jy wil wat sê?
Sê wat jy wil, doofvol, maar bekies wat babbel zonder reacties is kunnen snavel hap. En alles wat schutter en sprankel. En daar is typisch kraai die honderhaan, wat eiers lee, en een kikkel ei. Baba, mama, papa, gaai. Het echter gesê wat jy wil, en jy wat wil. Sê wat jy wil, meen sê wat jy wil. Ek wil nie en sê wat jy wil. Skappie, eh? Ate. Je lang, eh? Wie dotje IL.
Sê wat jy wil, mag ek sê wat ek wil. Ja, ek mag vriend, my speech geen my muziek. Ek gryp die bal by die horens, wat 'n kans. Hoekom moet ek wag? Skarrel hard saam met crew, is ek elke dag op 'n mission soos 'n strap. Maar ons word soos 'n strap. Elke foto wat ons vat, elke sien wat ons opdap. Op die game, alles is original. Wat ons doen, want ek's oorgelaai, oorgehaal. Baie taai en flippend top. Julle ding moet julle rof, maar jou poepel dan so stof. Jou mag sal ontplof as ek nie klein na onbeskof. Maar ek's op verlof, ek's op bedryf. Dis my lewe wat ek leef. Ek sien hond, ek sien reen en sy sien. Hoekom moet ek jou sê, as jy dit weet, ek sal sê wat ek wil, want ek mag, dis die kraag van my tong, meer ploft of as 'n bom, as jy vir jou vir jy dom, doen jy net gou die som, as ja.
Skappie, eh? Ate. Je lang, eh? Wie dotje IL. Sê wat jy wil.
Sê wat jy wil. Sê wat jy wil. Sê wat jy wil.
Ek ken nie om wat die mense van my sê nie. My mening sal ek wag en nie lag. Wat wil jy dat die hê nie? Ek sê nie jy swak nie, ek lag nie. Soms weet ek net nie wat om te verwag vanaf 'n kakkerlak nie. The distance are harsh, they will break you. Tear you to pieces and then
heated things going
Hey.
on. We were still arguing about the whole video and the thing.
It was lit.
It definitely was lit. We're continuing the discussion of education in Mzansi and the things that we are struggling with, especially where the quantiles come in of these quantiles should be free and these quantiles should get quality education and all of those things as well.
Yeah, and I feel like we need to go back to what we were talking about before the musical break, before we move on to something else. Because once upon a time, corporal punishment was illegal until a certain time that it was announced that it is illegal. So a teacher, no matter how you want to discipline somebody's child, that was physical abuse and it's illegal.
Okay.
I believe that people have opinion in the studio audience. You wanted to say something before we went to a musical break.
So I think the teacher, besides the abuse the teacher did, what about the next learner who made the video that there was another person who was sitting with the phone? What about that person? Was that person the same race as the teacher? Because the teacher did nothing to that person or said nothing to that person. So I think that teacher is racist.
Okay.
Well, I think if you look in back a year or two, outside the Western Cape, there are many incidences where teachers have been attacked by students.
Of course.
So I just feel that in that heated moment, the teacher acted up and she was trying to defend herself.
Of course.
But if you, in another sense again, if you look at in another way, that the teacher could have just walked away and go get a higher authority such as the principal.
Of course.
So all of this could have been avoided, and a school like that with that stature to be in the public eye like this, it's very disrespectful.
Because it made me think, like, if a learner disrespects you in a class, what's the mandate? What are you supposed to do as a teacher? What is there to protect you? Because you are going to get unruly learners. I'm not saying the girl was unruly, but when you're faced with a situation that somebody is disrespecting you in a classroom, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to slap?
Of course. And not only that, it comes back to what he's been saying of we've heard the cases of teachers being stabbed, being beaten up by the students as that. Maybe it was defense, we don't know. We have another view?
So coming back to what Lama is saying, I think the mistake that the department is making is by not taking these teachers through like psychological training.
Yeah.
So that, for example, like what you're saying, when that person is faced with such a situation, this is how I deal with such a situation. And also by not having psychologists themselves in these schools. Because say, for example, that incident which happened the previous day, this is something which could have been avoided.
Exactly.
Like Byron is saying. If I've got a problem, I cannot speak to the teacher. But if there's a psychologist who is trained to do such and understand my situation, I can go to that person and speak to them. Just avoiding all these things, because the moment you're going to put in race, because I don't like this thing of race.
Yes.
Pretty much, because
It could
race.
have been anybody.
Exactly. Because now we are running towards race.
Exactly.
Which is not the case.
Exactly.
Race is not the case in that situation. It's the disrespect between the teacher and the student.
Yes. I want to touch base on back to the teachers also being stabbed and the teachers always also being in a situation where if I tell you that you have detention, I mean, I saw a video of a small kid the first day of school, he's taking his bags, he's opening the door, he's crying, he wants to go home now, and all the teacher did was take a video of this. What about the teachers? Do we feel anything for the teachers? Is there some
Because they're also human beings.
exactly.
You know?
Remember, it's not just the fact that, because people come from a home where there's disrespect, bring it to the class. The teacher has to deal with 20, 50
And have to
students
deal
a
with
day.
that.
Is the defense for the teachers? What do you guys think?
I think that teachers also are also people. So nakasibacingele and then ke ngoku nabo mos banabantwana banestress banezinto abazicingayo.
Yeah.
So I think that we should be irresponsible nathi for abantwana bethu ekhaya ekhayeni. Treat them right. Kwenza xa bebheke esikolweni mos kuthiwa xa esikolweni utitshala wakho umzali wesibini is second parent. So xa usuka kokweni nabazali bakho abo usuka kuwo should bakufundisa inhlonipho, because I think it's lack of respect sometimes.
But where does it start? Where does the solving of such an issue where kids are being disrespectful, blunt, bluntly disrespectful. Where does the problem, where does that start? Does it start at the school saying, look, we are not condoning this, or does it start at home? What do you guys think?
So obviously, it's supposed to start at home because parents are supposed to teach the children exactly how to be respectful and respect other people around them, especially adults. You know what I mean? And also, like what you just said earlier on, teachers actually study psychology, so they're supposed to have that mentality and know exactly what they're doing within the classroom as well. Yeah.
Is that anyone?
Abby, what's the best remedy for something like this?
The best what?
Remedy.
So that's like complicated because at home I work at a daycare, so I kind of like understand how it can be very frustrating to deal with a lot of students at once. But I have never, like one time in my life, thought about like putting my hands on a child, no matter how angry they're making me. And at the end of the day, I have to go home, but they have to go home with their parents. So if their parents aren't parenting them, that's their problem.
Exactly. I love it. What can we do to make sure that South African government gives everyone in South Africa equal and quality education? Any views on that?
On what you asking, Neriza, for me, I'd say it's not the government. The school should ngabo fama bathatha inxaxheba ekulungiseni such situations, because the school, it's not the government. Let's stop blaming the government for everything.
Okay.
Now it's time nathi singabantu. We've been in democracy for what, 25 years now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen change. Why not thina singaziqaleli ngokwethu utshintsho? So it's within the schools, governing body, the school, the parents, that they should come up with solutions for such incidents and improving and developing the schools that we go to.
Okay.
Melikaya, just under a minute.
Yazi into endicinga uba ingenzeka naso so that abantu bafumane imfundo yafelefele ne. I think okokuqala ne njengoba bendikhe ndatsho ekuqaleni uba imfundo le ilantukile kuduru, it's expensive to pay fees.
Yes.
Especially when you get evarsity ne. But then into eyenzekayo ukuba ne thina as ilutsha, we can keep fighting for free education. Like nabona kuyenzeka ko DUT, ko CPUT, abantu kukho a hashtag Bees Must Fall.
Yes.
So if you can keep fighting for that, then for sure urhulumente uzasiva, then you can get the free
But the
education.
students are tired of fighting.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for being part of our first ever studio audience. It was awesome chatting to you. And should you wish to be part of our studio audience next week, email us at ekse@capetowntv.org or call us on 021 448-0448 and say, I want to be part of that. Remember that you even have the power in your hands to tell us what do you want us to talk about.
Right.
You want to talk about women abuse, men abuse.
We get abused too. Anything.
What is it that you want us to talk about? And we shall put it on the table, and nothing is off the topic.
Of course not, man. And also, if you did miss the conversation that we had today, the repeat will play tomorrow 7 to 8 a.m. on 263. And I'm sure this topic, I don't think we should drop this topic as of yet. What do you guys think?
Lord. I don't know. I think we should drop it right now. They're going to solve it, okay?
Coming
But
up next
later
is Open Studio between 5 and 5:30. And Sakamanina, you need to watch on Saturday. They've got an awesome competition. Tomorrow at 4 to 5, it's Ekse. Don't miss it. It's
See ya.
so fast to say.